before I throw away my slide scanner, retire it, I figured I'd make a video about how it worked a little bit, and so kind of for myself, because I'm going to forget, and for maybe somebody else who wants to try something like this. So this is the apparatus. Has a I was powering it with a 5-volt power supply. This is a spacer I made. Actually, I 3D printed the whole thing here. And then, so how it worked was, you'd put the camera, balance it up here, and then load in slides. For example, you'd put like a stack in right here, and then I made these little pushing things, push it through, and it has a little notch right here to stop it at the right spot, and then you'd snap it, and then you move this to the side and push it all the way through, and it would fall out on this side and stack over here. It worked well. I mean, I scanned about 4,000 slides. This whole thing, sometimes it would jam on the way down. You know, it wasn't perfect, but it worked good. For the camera to get it to focus, I had to use a 10 millimeter for the slides. I put a 10 millimeter spacer in here. And then this was for regular 35 millimeter slides, and these, so slides like this, and then these Pana-Vue, I don't know what these are called, but it wasn't designed for these slides, whatever these are. These, I modified it to work with those, and then I had this one with the larger hole at the bottom, and it required a different spacer, so I printed this because I couldn't find the right size. It's 7 millimeters, but this, obviously it doesn't have all the contacts like to connect to the camera, which was kind of a problem, but I didn't have nearly as many of those Pana-Vue slides. So it worked. Some other things to note, like when you're scanning slides, it's best to probably try to organize them a little bit ahead of time, sort of get the sets together, get them in order. Sometimes it was hard because sets were mixed up when I was doing this project. The other thing, I tracked everything in a spreadsheet, and I printed these slide trays. And then I would write, like, this slide trays are printed in dark color, but let's see, I would write the sets and then reference those in a spreadsheet and kind of keep track of like where they were, sort of if they were in carousels or if they came from a pack, and what the development dates were. So that way I could sort of try to get them all in, change the capture date of the images. So when you scroll through them on the computer, they're sort of in chronological order. And then the other stuff I use for the camera to keep it still. Obviously, you don't want to be pressing this and jiggling it around because everything's kind of up close and in there. I got this button, remote button, I guess it is, that connects into the side of the camera. If you open this, there's a connector. That was very, very helpful. And then the other thing is connecting the camera to the computer. This camera, unfortunately, doesn't support a direct connection to the computer, so you can't snap the picture and then have it automatically download in the computer. So every batch, I had to basically disconnect this, plug in the USB cable, and then offload the photos, because if I scan too many, it would get in one batch, it would get confusing as to what was in what batch and stuff. So I basically broke them down in these batches and then did them one at a batch at a time. And then The other thing, I guess I could show, so inside of this, oh, I don't have a screwdriver. So this thing is a bit janky. It, you know, it was just kind of hacked together. I made this kind of a couple years ago after the pandemic, shortly after, I think, and I don't really remember how I came to this design. But I know I struggled with the diffuser right here. This was a trial and error since I never did this. So it looks like I got this video. I think it's a video light. I think I got it on Amazon. It's stuck in here, but it holds batteries, and then I just hardwired it because I wanted consistent light. It worked good, I'd say. Inside here, it looks like there's, oh, I printed like a thing to center it even. Oh, it slides into these slots on the camera. Wow, that was on the light. That was pretty impressive. Anyways, so this was the like one of the main things to figure out was to get the light when the light the distance between where the light goes from the light source to the slide seemed to work best if it was like right up on top of it. So if you put the light source down away from it, it didn't seem to work nearly as well. So getting this as close as possible to the slide seemed to be very helpful. And so I guess I didn't know that at first, so I went through some iterations. I went through this, and I guess looks like I made some notches on the side, and this kind of stays in place and slid in there. It was kind of a, you know, a iteration hack. And I think that's it. Yeah, if you do attempt this project, good luck. Hopefully this is, at least now I'll know how this goes back together. This is a micro four thirds camera. The lens is a 1.7 25 millimeter lens. And it's this one's I don't know if you want to see, oh no, it's Lumix. I thought it was Panasonic. It's an old camera. Worked pretty good. Okay.